Assalamu alaikum to all the fantabulous students out there. This is your own teacher Azak Rashid giving you a magnetic welcome into another video session of Assimilate English with Azak Rashid. With this hope that you all must be happy and healthy and seeking knowledge with the torch of positivity from the sources of nature and everywhere, let's begin our lecture. The topic that we are about to cover and study today is, as you can see on your screens, kinds of sentences. Kinds of sentences with respect to the nature of sentences. What does this mean? I'll elaborate it later on. First things first. Before knowing kinds of sentences, one must know what a sentence is. So the question arises is, what is a sentence? Here comes the answer. The definition of sentence. A group of words that expresses a complete idea or thought is called a sentence. Example, he bought a car. The above group of words expresses a complete idea. Such a combination of words is called a sentence. Here I would like to say that not only combination of words, like two words written together, we cannot call them sentence. I'll tell you further in details, like things to understand. Now look at another group of words. Book or read him. There are four words according to the definition of word. Combination of alphabet that has a proper meaning is called a word. So book is a combination of word and A is a single alphabetical word because it has a meaning. So all these four, book, A, read, and him, have meaning, so they are words. So book or read him is actually a combination of words. This group of words does not make a complete sense, so it cannot be called a sentence. It's just a phrase or a combination of words. A sentence is a combination of words including a subject and a verb which expresses a complete idea. A sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a period, question mark, or exclamation mark. Let me clear you one thing over here, that usually students think that combination of words make a sentence. Let me give another instance here. Examples with a correct and wrong. We have two things over here. Sentences on the right side and combination of words on the left side. He to school. He is a word, to is a word, and school is a word. And these are the combination of words. But as they're not making sense, they cannot be called sentences. On the other side, we have he goes to school. This means he, the person we are talking about, goes to school is a habit of him. Then she is an, combination of word again, but does not make a sense. That's why we cannot call it a sentence. Then on the other side, we have she is eating an apple. My name is Dot. Doesn't make a sense. My name is John. What are you? Question mark. Is not making a sense. What are you doing? A question. Who are? That's not making a sense. Who are you? Means who are you? What? A. Exclamation mark. Combination of words and a symbol. But that's not making a sense, so we cannot call it a sentence. On the other hand, we have what a beautiful flower. That is exclaiming about something, praising about something, praising a flower. So we'll call it a sentence because all these green are giving sense and all these red are not giving sense. So greens are sentences and the red are only combination of words. I hope that I have defined it very clearly. Now let's talk about our mainstream topic that we are about to discuss today, kinds of sentences with respect to nature of sentences. As at the beginning, I told you that I'm going to tell you what is with respect to the nature of sentences, that there are two different kinds of sentences when it comes to English grammar. The one is the compound and complex sentences. That is known as the kind of sentences with respect to the structure. But right now, we're talking about kinds of sentences with respect to the nature of sentences. Okay, what is the purpose of studying this? You all must be thinking that what's the purpose of studying this? Let me clear you one thing over here, that there are two kind of things when you talk about learning English, that the one thing is known as a skill and the other is known as knowledge. knowledge is to be gained and skill has to be practiced. When it comes to writing anything like story writing, essay writing, application writing, etc., these all are the skills. Speaking is a skill. The more you practice, the more better it will be. But grammar is something that gives you knowledge, what is right and what is wrong. What are the do's and don'ts, regulations of a language, particularly we are talking about an English grammar. So in particular, the rules and regulations of English language. So without knowing the do's and don'ts of anything, we cannot perform good at that. So we need desperately to know things and flourish more in that particular area. If you want to enhance your language skills, you have to have more better grip on grammar. Okay, what is the purpose of studying this? Is to learn the nature of the sentence. What is the nature of the sentence? What does this mean? Let's take an instance. Someone said to you, would you like to take some tea? And you reply, wow, which is totally wrong. Does it make a sense? No ways. Why doesn't it? Because someone is asking you to have some tea. The answer must be, yes, I would like to take some tea. No, I would not like to take some tea. The answer could be a yes or a no. But what did you do? You replied with exclamation, wow, which is totally wrong. Why does this happen? This happened because you did not know the person who spoken a sentence was a question mark or a statement or an order or an exclamation. So this is known as the nature of the sentences. Like we have order, requests, suggestions, and questions and statements and all these. So we're gonna learn this all in quite detail, and inshallah you'll better know in the end of the lecture that what are these and how to use them. Okay, let's come to towards the kind of sentences. According to the nature of sentences, there are 5 kinds of sentences, which are as follows. The first one is assertive or declarative sentences. Then comes the second, interrogative sentences. Then we have imperative sentences with us, and we have exclamatory sentences and optative sentences. Let me tell you one thing over here, that in general you'll find 4 kinds of sentences because exclamatory and optative are combined together. But in few books, it's been differentiated with each other due to few things. And according to few books, there are 6 kinds of sentences. But in general, as there are 5, so I have taken these 5 to tell you. Let's start with the assertive or declarative sentences. What are these? They are not questions. They are not expressions. They are not orders, suggestions, requests. What are these? These are simple statements. A sentence that makes a statement or assertion is called an assertive or a declarative sentence. Declarative sentences are used to convey information in general. Assertive sentence ends with a period, full stop, in simple. So we have further division of this assertive or declarative sentence. Assertive sentence can be further divided into 2 types. Affirmative, positive, we can call them, and then we have negative. Affirmative or positive sentences. Affirmative sentences are those sentences which have positive statements or information. Example, he goes to school, he likes to play chess, they are singing a song. What is it? They all are, they are a statement, but they are positive statement. They are not coming up with something negatively or no. They're simple. Like if someone asks you, hey, do you go to school? You'll say, yes, I do go to school. Hey, Asa goes to school. Yes, he goes to school. He likes to play chess. So like these, that simple statement ending with a period and declaring or showing a sort of assertion. They're not questions, they're not expressions, they're not emotions, they're not orders or suggestions or requests, anything. Then we have the second part of that is a negative sentence, as the name itself elaborates. What is a negative sentence? Negative sentences are those sentences which have negative statements or information. Okay, assertive is the simplest statement, whether positive or negative. It can be negative or positive, but they both are simple statements. In one, you'll find some positivity, in the other, you'll find some negativity or no. So here we have the examples. He does not go to school, does not like to play chess, they're not singing a song. only not is coming up with. So this shows a sort of negative idea to the listener or reader about the message, about the nature of the sentence. Then comes the second kind of sentence, interrogative sentences, which are being used more in our daily life whenever we come into contraction, come into conversation. We start with, hey, how are you? Like a question. What is a question? What is interrogative? Let's learn it. A sentence that asks a question is called an interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentence ends with question mark. There are two types of interrogatives, alternative interrogatives and WH interrogatives. What are these? Alternative interrogatives are those interrogatives which offer two or more alternative responses. Example, should I telephone you or send an email? So the reply could be, you can send me an email. Do you want tea, coffee, or espresso? You can answer me, I want tea, I want coffee. Like one or more responses, like two responses. They are also called yes, no, closed-ended, or confirmative interrogatives. Why are these? Because in the reply of these questions, you'll reply as yes or no. Let me give another instance. Hey, would you like to take some tea? Yes, I would. No, I would not. Closed-ended, why are they known as closed-ended? Because the answers are closed. The answer, whether it's to be no or whether it's to be yes. Nothing else, nothing more. Confirmative, because in these questions, confirmation is done about any information. Now, alternative interrogatives are introduced by an auxiliary verb. They usually start with an auxiliary verb like is, am, are. Are you a Pakistani? Are you a foreigner or something like that? Is this your book? Like these, starting with an affirmative, or it could be auxiliary verbs. Then comes the second part, WH or interrogatives. WH or interrogatives, on the other hand, are introduced by a WH word and they elicit an open-ended response. They're also called closed-ended or informative interrogatives. Examples. What happened? Where do you work? Who won the cup final in 1992? Like they're starting with a W or H. It could be what happened, where do you live, what are you doing, how's your work going on, like all these, starting with a W and H, and the answer could be anything, and they give information, so that's why they're known as the informative interrogatives and all that. Then comes the imperative sentences. Imperative sentence is a sentence that expresses a request, command, suggestion. Okay, let me clear you one thing over here, that most probably, approximately everyone pronounced this word totally wrong. It's not suggestion or suggestion, it's suggestion, suggestion, and advice, etc. It's called an imperative sentence. Let me clear you one thing over here, that it is advice as a noun. But when you talk about the verb, it is advise, advise, and this is advice. Examples. Open the door is an order. Go over there is an order. Take care of yourself is an advice. Please open the door, request. Each and every order can be converted into a request by adding a please or kindly or sympathetically or these kind of words. Apple is better than Samsung is a suggestion. If someone asks you for a suggestion, you'll say, hey, I want to buy a phone. Which brand is better, Apple or Samsung? I would prefer, hey, you must go for Apple because they're more reliable. But if you're seeking for a cheap phone, you must take Samsung. Exclamative sentences. Here comes the sentence, the nature of sentence, which talks or speaks about exclamations and feelings. A sentence that expresses strong feelings or emotions is called an exclamatory sentence. These sentences express surprise, joy, sorrow, appreciation, and here comes the pronunciation again. This is not appreciation, as we call appreciate. So it is appreciation rather than calling it appreciation. Love, excitement, frustration, anger, etc. Mark of exclamation. This you all must have studied it in the mathematics as a factorial sign, but that is, you may call it as the I, the inverted I, comes in an exclamatory sentence. It is always added after the feeling or emotions in a sentence. What a beautiful flower it is! How nicely she's singing! That is fantastic! Hurrah! We won the match! Wow, you've done this. For example, that I'm telling you. Oh, my, you've done it. Then comes the very last thing. The fifth kind of sentence, according to nature, is optative sentences. Optative sentences are sentences that express some sort of praise, desire, or wish is called an optative sentence. Examples: may you live long and healthy life. He wants to be the best amongst all pupils, and he has desire to go to Connecticut this year. May you accomplish your goals. And let me clear you another thing over here. It's pupils, and the other one is people. P-E-O-P-L. It's people, and this is pupils. Usually, people get confused about these pupil and people, and they totally pronounce these wrong sometimes. Okay, so I told you earlier that in a few books, the optative and exclamatory are combined together, but they are totally different, as you can see. In the exclamatory, we talk about feelings and emotions, and over here we are talking about some pray or sort of wish. If I'd say, you all must have been asked a question: what do you want to be in your future when you grow older? And you'll answer, I want to be this, I want to be that. So these sentences are optative sentences in which you are showcasing your wish or desire. And then comes the pray that we give. Like, let's suppose I've asked you to bring me a glass of water, have some sips, and said, thank you so much. May you live long and healthy life. What did I say? I spoken over here a sentence in which I am giving praise or best wishes to others. So I would say that you all must have observed that each sentence has a different nature. The first one was assertive, a simple statement, no question, no emotion, nothing. Just a flat statement, could be positive or negative. Then comes the question. There were two kind of questions. One is yes, no questions in which you answer in yes or no. And the other one was that which starts with WH, and the answer could be anything. Then we've talked about the imperative sentences in which you talk about order, suggestions, advice, requests, etc. And then we've talked about the emotions and feelings. That was exclamatory sentences, exclamation of joy, happiness, glee, sorrow, and all these. And then in the end, we've talked about some praise or wishes. I hope that you all have learned whatever I've said, whatever you just said. And I hope that you will keep watching all these videos to make your English better and enhance your language skills. So that's end from for this lecture. I hope that you will join me again in another video session. For that time, take care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.